Aloha all and welcome back to Let's Play Mario Tennis for the N64. I'm Paper Mario Guy. In this episode we are going to continue our trek through the 6 cups. In the last episode we finished the Mushroom Cup, and in this one we are going to do the Flower Cup. Now I just want to point out that I did a little extra work off screen. Before I only had Mario and Luigi, and Daisy, and then of course you automatically get DK, Junior, and Shy Guy, but I also got Wario and Peach. So slowly but surely I'm going through all my characters and getting them, so by the time, god damn it, I can't speak right now. By the time, it rolls around for me to have to do the Rainbow Cup and all that jazz, I'll be ready for it. But anyway, here's the Flower Cup. Man, I am so clumsy today with my speech. I have no idea what it is. I've just been, clumsy a lot today. And normally, you would think, a big person like me, because I am a pretty big person, would just generally be clumsy, but I'm normally never clumsy. I'm a pretty, well-balanced person. I do things that normal big people can't, shouldn't do. I'm just, pretty agile and everything. I'm not trying to be cocky or anything, but, it's just one of those things, and a lot of people agree with me. But, for the last, day, I just been, I don't know, I just got, hit with this thing where I've just been doing so many stupid things. It happened, 3 times in the span of, 40 minutes, where, I was walking through school today, and I didn't have my backpack zipped up, and I forgot about it, and because of that, I spilled all the contents of my backpack, all over the floor, and I haven't been paying attention, and I don't know, it's not so bad, here in the later parts of the day, but it's still, I don't know, now it's me screwing up with my voice, but that's enough of that. Anywho, there's nothing much different about the Flower Cup. That's the thing about this game. With Super Mario Strikers, at least things changed a bit. With this, as far as tournaments go, there's not much difference up until you get to the Star Cup, and then there's one difference. Really, the differences come when you do the extra matches. So, yeah. Anyway, we defeated our counterpart Luigi, or maybe our counterpart defeated. Yeah, whatever. I don't see again. I don't know where I'm going with these. But yeah, I had a few things that I was going to talk about in this episode, but I can't seem to think of what those things were. So I apologize for that. Anyway, we're going to be facing Mario, who is an all-around type, so we're facing 2 all-around types in a row. I've noticed that all-around types really are probably one of the easiest to face because, and granted there's only 2 of them, you only get those 2 easy times. Well, you only get easy rounds twice, but I mean, they're just they don't really have too much power. If you hit it too far away from them, they're not going to be able to, counter back and grab it before it gets out of their reach. It's just one of those things. It's just, they're not very difficult. But, I don't know. In other news, today is Wednesday, the middle of the day, probably one of my least favorite days of school, days of the week in general, although today hasn't been too bad, but I think part of that has to do with the fact that, see, in high school, which is what I'm in, and just in school in general, my whole philosophy on notes and note-taking is when I was, little and everything, and I heard about notes, I never really enjoyed the idea of taking notes. That's just me. I don't study for anything, and there's certain people, who are just like me, where, studying doesn't help. In fact, a lot of times it will hurt me. If I study the night before for a test or a quiz, I tend to do worse than, say, maybe a 3-second, or not a 3-second, but maybe a minute or 2 review, right before the test, just looking at some of the things that I have, worksheets and stuff like that. But as far as notes go, I'm not a fan, and most people aren't, but I'm not a fan to the point where, I just don't take them anymore. And I consider myself a pretty intelligent person. Like, I'm not an idiot, if that's... I mean, so that's some people's definition of intelligent, not mine, but I'd like to say that I have insight on a lot of things, and I always can come up with an opinion for something, and I know a lot of people actually don't like that, but I don't know, whatever. But like, I'm not just trying to brag here. I have a point, but it's just like, I don't take notes, and I don't do notes and stuff like that, and I still do really good on tests and everything. Like, if I had to say that there was one thing that really that really gets me in school, is not so much that I'm bad at like notes, or I mean bad at like tests and quizzes and stuff like that, or classwork. It's my homework that brings me down, which part of it has to do with procrastination. But the thing is, if I do my work, like if I do it, like, it normally turns out good. For example, before April started, I had to do our first research paper for high school, and I'm a freshman in high school, so obviously the standards aren't nearly as high as maybe a senior or a junior or something like that. But still, nonetheless, it was my first high school paper that was due, and it was pathetically easy. It was 6 pages long, which isn't a lot. Well, in my opinion, I know I have tons of people in my school who complain, oh, 6 pages, and it takes them forever to write, but 6 pages to me is honestly, like, pretty tame. Like, if it was like 12 pages, I'd be like, this is stupid. But even then, I know that there's like 22 page like essays and reports that you have to do in college and everything. So I can deal with 6 or even higher up, 8, 9 page things. Anywho, before I start rambling about that, what I did is I didn't do a rough draft. I didn't do any of that work that most other kids had to do, or not even had to do, but were able to do. I didn't do any of those things, and I wound up doing my entire research paper, front to back, all the research and everything, in 2.5 hours the night before it was due, and I wound up getting a 94, which is an A, on the paper. And coming up now for me is a world history paper that I have to do, which is not 6 pages, but 3 pages. It's kind of like, it's like a research paper, but it's like tame. It's like easier than a research paper. But it's on how like America battled communism in America during the Cold War and everything. And I don't know, today is Wednesday, like I said earlier, and my paper's due Friday, and I have not begun research. So, it's not just to see if I can do it twice, not just to see if, like, before it was a fluke, but it's just one of those things. It's like people say, there's a Raffle poster that I saw the one time. It was called, procrastination is like masturbation. In the end, you're just fucking yourself and everything. And, you know, while that's kind of true, for me, it really isn't, because, again, I'm one of those people who, like, I just don't study, I don't take notes or anything like that, but I still pull off pretty good grades and everything. If it wasn't for homework, I'm pretty sure I would get, like, straight A's almost every marking period. It's just, I'm pretty bad with that. I don't like to do work at my house a lot. Not because there's too many distractions. It's just literally, like, I'll be bored out of my sneakers with nothing to do, and I'll look at my backpack, which I just glanced over to, that's sitting on the floor, and I'll be like, you know, I could be doing some homework and everything, or I could, like, plug in Wave Race 64 and just, like, have myself a good old time. And normally that's what I'll do, or I'll be like, or I could go on my laptop and look up internet crap or whatever. So, I don't know. That's just the type of person I am, and I don't know. I don't think it's that. I mean, most people in school, like, the only reason why they do any work is because they know that if they don't, they get, like, punished when they go home. Me personally, my mom basically at this point realizes, like, what is punishing going to do? Like, there's nothing that, I mean, she could take away, like, my laptop and everything, but not really. I mean, yeah, I don't know. Anywho, this is the flower cup. I know I rambled a lot about, just school crap and me, but, like I said, there's nothing much to say about that. In the next video, we will begin the Star Cup, and I'll talk about some things that are maybe a tad bit more interesting, but maybe you know a little bit more about me and my personality now. Anywho, I'm Paper Mario Guy of the KoopaNinjaBros, and I will see you all in episode 3 for the Star Cup. See you then.